Can everybody hear me? Yep, you can hear me? Awesome. Welcome, Wazers, to 2024. We are so happy to be back with you live from Waze HQ for another very exciting edition of Waze Community Office Hours. For those of you who don't know me, I'm your host and your favorite bald, beautiful community manager, Brett. And today we are joined by some very special guests to help us kick off the year. So to jump right in, I'd love to introduce you to our Waze Leads. Hopefully these are pretty familiar faces. First up, we have Gai Berkovich, Waze's brand spanking new Waze GM, General Manager of Waze, with us for 8 years. Sitting next to him is Adi Rome, Waze's Director of Engineering, who's been with us for 4 years. And of course, to my side, my big boss lady, Hila Roth, who's been with Waze for 10 full years. So we have a winner. Ding, 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 ding. So basically, all combined together, we have over 20 years of Waze knowledge in the room tonight, and we're hoping that this will help answer all of your questions. So to kick us off, I'd love to pass things over to Guy to talk a little bit about our mission for this year moving forward. Guy, take it away.
Thank you, Brett. You're really bold. And hi, everyone. Thank you for joining. Thank you for your time. I love the names and the years because it shows a kind of a continuity, stability. And soon enough, I'm going to see all the faces and the meetups. So we are here together. This year, we actually started a new era. And around July, when we joined, and I was appointed as a GM, we joined Geo. I will speak more about it during the question, maybe. We had gathered all the leads of the company and the product leaders, of course. This was led by product. And we have created, finally, a mission statement for Waze that my intention is that it will not change over the years. So this is the mission statement. And I want to read it because in between the lines, you will see the future. And this is what makes me excited and wake up in the morning and come to Waze. So our mission is to create the world's most helpful driving companion, giving greater peace of mind for every drive. So again, we are going to focus during the next few years on the driving experience. We want to have the Waze as the go-to driving experience. And we know what makes Waze so great and what makes Waze so Wazy. It's about the freshness of the data that comes from all of you. It's about the great collaboration and cooperation with our partners, like cities and many other partners. Adi is going to speak later on what we're going to do, but during this time of the last few months, we had to take hard decisions because we want to do everything, but we also want to change the way we work. We want to be very focused and lead this Waze mission for the marathon for the next few years. And this is something that I heard so many of you ask us to do during the meetups, and this is why this leadership finally is bringing Waze to the right direction. And I believe that during 2024, we're going to also grow, but more importantly, after this year, we're going to continue with Waze mission. So you need to be patient, but also continue and give us your feedback. Next slide. As you know, GMM and Waze Waze was merged into Geo, but Waze is still one Waze. We are a PA under Geo. This decision was taken, and I got full commitment from the Geo leadership. We see that in 2023, we actually met all of our growth targets and OKRs, and it was a very challenging year. It was a year with lots of changes, changing of CEOs, moving into Geo, and I guess that some of you even shared some of the anxiety that I had and the anxiety that we all had in Waze. But now we are very sure. We got a full backup from the Geo leadership, and they also want Geo to win and be the go-to driving experience for everyone. and be some kind of give more impact and help to all the users in the world. So we will speak about it more in the questions. And now I will hand it over to Adi, because it's all about execution.
Thank you, Guy. I'm so excited to be here and to get started. We have chosen the squads this year very carefully. The hardest part, as always, was to choose what we're not going to do. And we even managed to do that. Like Guy said, we want to do everything from everything. Squads are the product focus areas that indicates where we will focus our execution efforts in the coming year. We understand that in order to be the go-to driving experience, we need to build the best-in-class driving experience. And when I say best-in-class, I mean first-in-class guidance experience. We want to have the freshest and best CGC data surfaced at key points of your drive. We want to have smart and personalized routing, a map that contains the correct amount of data, as not too overwhelming, but giving you all the information you need and at the right time. Driving experience is also about belonging, driving with a community, driving with you, feeling that there is a different ways in different countries, having a strong, engaged community. That's you all. That helps us understand the local needs and the person behind the wheel. We will use our user growth capabilities to bring more users, which as a community-based app enriches our driving experience. And as you can see, across all the squads, we put product excellence as a fundamental for all our focus areas. And we do that because we've learned over the years that sometimes our driving experience is most impacted by great quality of features and not only by the new and shiny ones. And we want to be able to check our impact and to have more visibility. So we're also going to invest in our internal tools that will enable us to check how we improve our product excellence across all our focus areas.
Excellent. Well, thank you, Adi and Guy, for setting us off. I think I don't want to waste any more time, and we should just dive right into everyone's questions. Now, we received, and I did the favor that I always do of rewriting them to make them look a little bit nicer. And also, I included a few different people who might have asked the same question and just sort of combined them since it's similar themes. So, diving right in, our first question for Guy. Waiting on some good news about Waze. Why don't you kick us off with a softball?
I think I already started about the good news. First of all, the very good news is that Waze is here to stay, and this is now for sure. I think that one of my oldest dream and wish was that we can actually have the best of the best, meaning the synergy with what we can bring to our users with Google, but stay Waze and Wazy, and stay with our way of bringing the data to our users. So yes, it's true that I was also under a lot of anxiety with everybody in Waze, with so many changes, with changing head of products. We had twice, and you will all meet the new head of product very soon. And I think we have picked the best one this time. And he's going to join next week. Next week. And so many good things are happening, actually exceeding my imagination. Doesn't mean that we are not working very hard to get there. And then I think went to speak with the management of Geo, well, too many times in the last year, in the last 6 months. But now we have full support, and they are fully motivated to have Waze as a PA within Geo that will continue and strive to get the best driving experience. The good news about Waze is that the community is going to still be the essence behind Waze, and we are the only one who are going to manage a community inside Geo. So community is going to stay for Waze, for the community, and for the users. And I'm sure that you already are feeling it, because in the last few meetups that I actually saw you in person, and what I hear from the meetups that I couldn't join is that everybody finally feel that we are much more connected to what is needed in hyperlocal areas and what is needed by the community. So thank you again.
Amazing. Thank you, Guy. Next up, this is from a few different users. How has the Waze user base been developing since the merge with Geo?
So as I said, in 2023, actually we continued to grow, and we grew quite significantly, and according to the targets which were set already as something very ambitious. As you know, what I said in the last 3 years and what we are already doing with trying to get more data, share more data, and impact actually even more users. And we did it already with Gildi Satnik, with a secret project together with the community and Geo. So I really feel that the merging with Geo will bring will accelerate the growth. I don't think we felt it in 2023. I think in 2023, we continue to grow because we launched some very good features, because we made our application much more robust, and we invested a lot of time in optimization, efficiency, and product excellence. But starting 2024, I think we're going to get so many opportunities from Geo and a global scale to grow. And we are looking at Waze as something that is going to be a kind of a complementary driving experience in most of the world.
Amazing. So next up, we have an anonymous question. This one's for Hila. Is it difficult to have to use, it's difficult to have to use 2 forums for beta and editors, and is it possible to just move everything over to Waze Discuss?
So first, hi everyone. Happy to be here, and also happy that the first question for me is a good one, because I have a very good answer. To make it very short, the answer is yes. It is possible. From the beginning, our vision was to have one platform for all our communities. So basically, we're working this year, it's already in progress, to merge everything in one place, one platform. So we will have everything in Waze Discuss. I hope we will have more like concrete dates and official plan to share with you in the upcoming month, I believe. Not soon, upcoming month.
Music to my ears. There's nothing that I hate more than writing BB code, so thank you for that. Our next question for Adi. This came from both Bryce Campbell in Canada and Pox Online in Germany. When will the migration to Google Ads system in Waze be finished, and what can we expect from ads moving forward?
So as for September 2023, Waze is no longer selling ads. We've turned down the current Waze ads product, and advertisers at the moment can no longer purchase new ads. We are already working to transition Waze ads to the Google Ads technology and look forward to helping advance your business objectives through our new Waze ads products. We'll need to understand the needs of each market. And what we're doing now is we're looking at how we can better manage quality using the new tools that Google's powerful ads platform is giving us.
Well, thank you, Adi. I think that we're all really looking forward to seeing what this new tool will give us, and hopefully there'll be some really awesome things in the next year.
That's for sure.
So, Guy, here's one for you. What is the future of Waze in Google and Geo? And the community, this is something that we hear a lot, that around every half year, they hear it in the press that they're talking about when Waze is going to be killed off and incorporated into Google Maps. You've already touched on this a bit, but just once and for all, set the record straight.
I'm hearing this question, and I'm living this question for the last, how many years you said I'm here? 8 years.
Yeah.
I think probably Hila hears it for the last 10 years. And you know what? I think that up until 6 months ago, this question was a valid question, because, yeah, we really believed in Waze, but nobody really knew what the final answer will be or what the final decision will be. And everything keeps changing in life. 6 months ago, Google gave a very loud and clear, strong statement. Yes, we were merged into the Geo portfolio. However, they decided to open a new PA and leave Waze as an autonomous, not just a brand and application, but as an autonomous organization. And not only that, they even changed the CEO, the GM now it's called, and appointed me as as the GM, and the engineering and everything now is one organization. And this decision makes it very clear. And when Google takes a decision, when Google management takes such a decision, Google is usually doing it for the long term, and they see the added value that Waze is bringing, not just by the brand, by the community, and this is being spoken a lot, by our great talents, our team, and the team is more motivated now. After they have been so much in chaos of changing missions, moving from carpool to non-carpool, and all these infrastructure that we had to build after the acquisition by Google. Are we going to use Google infrastructure? Are we not? So now it's very clear. Yes, we are going to continue and be a separate, a part of the portfolio, but a separate application. We are not going to merge into the Google tree infrastructure that was asked. So I think that this time it's really for sure that we are here to stay.
Well,
Can I add something?
Please, go
I
for it.
just want to add that I think that it's very clear right now the added value of being a complementary application for Google Maps and not like it's not a competing, and therefore it's not going to be incorporated into, but together we will bring great experience to the users around the world.
I hope it will be complementary also to the developers, the automakers, and you will all feel the impact that it will bring.
That's for sure.
And I just wanted to say, as like one of the people on the ground, I really appreciate both of your leadership here to really keep the ship steady, and we feel it. So thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Moving right along, got to keep this ship going. So our next question from Martin in Germany. When will it be possible to implement a closure on turns in real time? Guy, do you want to jump into that from the product perspective?
Yeah, finally, I have a question that I have a good answer. Usually I get only the very hard question, but as Hila said, so finally, this is actually being worked on right now, and it should be ready for release in the end of H1, meaning end of June, already launch in 2024. So stay tuned.
Amazing. Next up, from DLOP in Honduras. Sorry if I'm screwing up your username. This one's for Hila. How can we improve the data communication between Waze and Google? Google Maps is not a trusted source of information for places. And if we keep importing place data in Waze without filters, it's always going to provide bad feedback, I'm assuming, from drivers and opening more URs.
Yeah, so thanks for the question. It's a very good point that we have a lot of discussions around. So in general, in search, if we take a look on specific about search results, so Waze will only show a place result from Google Maps if the place is not linked into Waze place. So it's something that sometimes is kind of blurry from questions we hear also in meetup. So it's a point I wanted to make. And in general, on top of it, I wanted to mention two things. So first is the fact that we are aware of the fact that we need to focus on better data. We know there are a lot of issues with the data we import when it comes to places, or in general with other aspects as well. But this question is specifically about places. And it is a focus for us for 2024. So in general, we are on it, and you should be aware. And we do want also to improve the feedback loop around places, meaning that it's on us to make sure we import better data quality. But again, have also the possibility that you will have a smoother process to give us the feedback. So this feedback loop will be easier for you because we absolutely want to hear from you, and this feedback is critical. Thanks.
Amazing, thank you. So next up, here's one for Adi. Will Live Map support location entries, tolls, and passes in the future?
For now, we don't have any plans to add any additional features to Live Map. Like I said, yeah, we want to do it all, but it's not going to be in our focus at the moment.
Moving right along, here's another for Hila from Subs 5 in the US. There still remains a problem with feed inputs from partners. First, there's no history on a segment from a feed closure once it's expired, and this makes it hard to figure out the URs when people say a road is closed, but the editor still can't tell. Second, they often only close one direction when it should be both directions, or too many miles when it's just a small area. Is it possible for the partner to see what the closures will look like similar to the events page?
Okay, so first, the partner feeds in general, you should know in case you missed it in 2023, it's a huge focus area for Waze. Guy also touched it a bit. It's a growing area in general. The feeds is part of it, meaning that we also saw a very, very big increase in terms of active partners, cities that we collaborate with, but not only active partners, but also the feeds that we have from them, the feeds that you see from the hub, the partners hub. So first, I want to say thank you to everyone. We know you do really fantastic, amazing contribution here in terms of onboarding the partners, in terms of meeting them. Many of you are meeting them in their offices and just like hand in hand, showing them our tools and how to edit them up and make sure everything is accurate. And really thank you. We don't take it for granted and it's really appreciated. In terms of this question, so I do have good news. Also for the first part, also for the second, we are working on it, also on the history for feeds, but also on the part of the second part, which means that we're working on the ability to create this visibility for partners that after they insert the feed, of for example, for the closure, they will actually be able to see it, not just in WME, just actually to see how it looks like in the live map or other tools. We're not sure about how it will actually look like, but you should know that we're working on it. And it's important for us that the partners will also get this feedback about the quality of their feeds. We want it to be more accurate, and we want, again, to have the feedback from you when it's not accurate, of course.
Absolutely. I also can't hammer home enough. If you see something wrong with the feed data, please let your community manager know so that we can open that feedback loop back with the partner and make sure everyone's communicating. So moving along, here's one for Guy on half-baked features, your favorite topic. When will they be prioritized? I have several examples here. Example number one, multiple entry points. They can be mapped in the WME production, and they do work as expected in iOS, but they don't work on Android at all. Android currently picks the best entry point for the user, not the one that the editors are setting. And another example for parking lots. There's a long list of properties that we can map in the WME, but none of these properties are showing up being surfaced in the app. Guy, what say you?
I say, first of all, thank you for the question. And I think that you said that our new head of product is among the listener, right? And he's going to step into his role because Adi and I are having a very healthy discussion and debates. And we both agreed, together with the product management, that like there is a technical debt that we need to handle sometimes, we need to handle it every year. Some of our code is, 10 years old. And, code of software is not like wine, it's not getting better. And sometimes in order to scale up what was right 10 years ago, we need to actually make it a little bit more scalable. There is product debt. And not only that we are not going to continue with leaving features half-baked, we are going to focus, as Adi said, about product excellence and prioritize together with product and the engineers some of the product that still need to be developed because we didn't finish the development, or prioritize on changing some of the features that were already developed but were not developed as we think that they should. This is going to be the highest focus for all the squads, as Adi mentioned. Now, regarding the two examples, so for multiple entry points, let's make it clear. It was never implemented in Android. It was implemented only iOS, and sometimes we are actually trying to develop something iterated on one OS. We gather usage data, and when we feel the feature is ready, we implement it for the other OS. Why was it developed on the iOS first or not? Well, we have different features that sometimes we start with iOS and sometimes we start with Android, but the multiple entry points was at the moment developed only on iOS. We are going to develop it on Android once we finalize all the gather of features. On the parking lot, this is something that it was a bug, and I'm happy to say that since then it was fixed. Actually, the bug was fixed. It was already rolled out to production in IL. As you all know, I guess, our first market that we are testing is IL, and then when it's ready, we are rolling it out to North America and rest of the world. So I guess that in the coming weeks, you will also these fixed bugs rolling into rest of the world, North America, and you will see the whole list of properties for car parks in the apps once it completes. I already saw it. It looks great.
Amazing. That's music to our ears. So moving right along, another anonymous question, this time for Hila. After the vandalism that we saw on the map in 2022 and 23, what protections are in place and what may be introduced in 2024 to prevent this from happening again?
Okay, so first I want to share that we really improved everything related on map protection mechanism. It's something we've been working even before this incident, but this incident obviously made us think that we should take things a bit differently and approach it a bit differently with more protection, specifically about GPS location to avoid more fraud, like what happened with this vandalism case. We made changes, for example, like new accounts that are not able anymore to attack the map before we validate them. It was a bit different before this incident. And since this new map protection mechanism, we also, I'm happy again to share about the fact that we didn't see any major incidents at all. So it means that we're on the right track. And in terms of plans for 2024, we'll keep on maintaining everything about protection for this map. And one of the features that will be very, very focused on this protection is Suggest and Edit, which is about to roll out. Some of you saw it in beta, or we'll see it very soon, like soon now. That will really help strongly protect our map while allowing all users to make the updates they want to see. And also, I want to share, just to finish up here, that we constantly managing and monitoring everything related to suspicious behavior. So please always flag to us, always, don't chat, email, whatever, if you see anything that we should be aware of, and really appreciate it.
Absolutely. See something, say something. I think for all of these cases, it was really the amazing vigilant work of the community to show us immediately as something happens so we could shut the map down and stop the damage from happening further. So please stay vigilant, and if you see something, say something. So next up is Guy's second favorite question that he gets every year. Is this the year where we are going to solve the Mexico-US border issue?
No.
All right.
I wish.
It's
but,
okay.
As I think we said it a few times, and idea was actually saying it very clear about focusing and about the fact that we want to grow first. And we need to balance between the work that we are investing in the technical debt and the product debt and some of the new features. So one of the things that we decided that, yes, it is very important. We're not saying it is not. We want to get it solved. I actually wanted it to get solved this year. But again, I don't want to make promises that I cannot keep. And this is something I already said in the meetup, that we need to get a better look into it. And we did set a team to get all the details. I really hope that we'll have some updates during the North America meetup in April. and then I can share something more accurate. But at this point, the amount of infrastructure that is needed in this case should wait for another infrastructure before we get to that, if it makes sense and you understand what I mean.
Absolutely. So, moving right along from RM Guimar in Brazil, the Brazilian Institute of Geography and Statistics is creating their own Waze type app for the Brazilian rural countryside. Instead of creating another app, why do we not allow them to just update Waze? Hila, do you want to take that one since a partner issue?
Yeah. So it's also referring to my other questions about fees and partners and our big focus with cities and partners in general. So first, thanks for flagging this. We should be aware, and this is exactly how we get to know all our partners locally, because we have you guys, and it's super helpful for this intro and you making sure we're everywhere we should be. So it's a good lead. It's a good thing for us to introduce with this partner. I already spoke with our partners management in terms of getting to know who is this partner, and we would love to speak with you, the user who posted it. I'm not sure if you're listening now or if you're in the chat, but we'll take it also with Mauro, your community manager, and we want to make this introduction and see how we can collaborate.
Amazing. So next up, here's one for a D from Voil SB in the United States. When are we going to be able to use custom map colors again? This feature went away with the transition from the schema files to the LUA files by moving them into a root access only folder. Android has an existing structure for a user data com Waze folder. This is getting really technical, sorry, that Waze used to use. That would have been perfect for this, but removing this feature removes one of the community features from the app.
Thank you for the question. Map colors are something that we've put actually lots of effort and work into improving in the last year. We're very excited to release more updates to users, to our beta testers have been already using it for quite a time now. Regarding the editing schema and the Lua files, actually it sounds like a hack. That is not something that we can officially support, but it's something I'm happy to take back to the team and see what they have to say about that. So I owe you an answer on that.
Managing the entire engineering together with the community.
Exactly. Welcome to the Waze community where we have hacks aplenty.
Hacks,
So,
scripts, whatever.
Here's one for Gai from Pox Online in Germany. What are the plans and timeline for new gamification systems in the Waze app and WME?
So actually last year we took down a few of the legacy gamification tools in Waze, like the leaderboard, and this was to upgrade these systems and recreate them with a superior data and tools that we are using today. It also relates to again, some of the technical debt and some of the product debt. We were shooting to so many areas, and we want to focus and we want to do it right. So we are now making some progress and modernizing, and we recently relaunched the leaderboard. It's now in production. So I expect over the next year, in 2024, that you will see more features, maybe in the beta first, and they are going to be both for our map editors and of course Waze drivers, and some of them will give the good old gamification features that you all wish.
Well, I'll let you know in the chat right now, they're saying that they need a way to cash in all those points they've been earning over the years. So we'll hopefully get back to them with some better news. So next up, this was a question that was submitted by a few different users for a D. Waze on CarPlay lets you, or used to let you, view the directions on your phone and navigation on your car display. Additionally, Waze frequently crashes or hangs when searching from Android Auto, and you have to disconnect to use your phone. When will there be feature parity between CarPlay and Android Auto?
That's also a very, very good question. First, just to address CarPlay and Android Auto, that are both our in-car technologies, that in order to be able to display the navigation in a car, we're using templates that are being provided either by Android or by Apple. And these are special templates that limits our ability to present certain things on the screen, and that's because there are safety, lots of safety measures that are being taken into considerations. Actually, CarPlay and AA are not fully paired, but we are working in order to provide parity between the two platforms.
And we're also having a very good relationship with iOS and with Android Auto, sometimes even better with iOS, but we are getting, they also, it's very important because they are listening to their users and they keep hearing that they want Waze to be fully supported. And this really helps us to have more features and more templates and so on. So keep on bumping Android Auto and iOS with different requests because they really listen to the users, and we need this help in order to get the support we need to actually develop everything we need with Android Auto and the CarPlay.
Amazing, excellent. And I would even suggest we have these sorts of networks already for the community. When they used to try to make a mass edit on the Google Maps side, and they would all do a game of telephone and report the same issue, we already have those lists together. So maybe we can use that and put it right to CarPlay and Android Auto.
I support it because we really feel, first of all, we see that in 2023, more than 60% of our growth came from in-car system. It makes a lot of sense. First of all, it means 63% came from the iOS, I think, CarPlay. It means that people find the Waze application very appealing, specifically around the in-car, because we see more and more in-car all over the world, by the way. So we are going to continue and invest in this. As Adi said, we have different support, different templates, and we need to be very flexible with both systems.
Well, our GC Hugo in Portugal says that we should send them some templates for what we need, and then they'll send the emails off to the in-car device.
Let's take that as an action item because we really need the help from our users in order to push both Apple and Android Auto.
All right, a little grassroots campaigning. I guess we'll be back to you in a few weeks with some more info on that. So moving right along, power of the community, right?
Easy. So Chezi will take it with Portugal. It's Hugo, right?
Yeah.
Hi, Hugo.
So another in-car question. This one for Adi. Why is it still not possible to report or add comments on a map issue by voice on in-car?
Another great question. On CarPlay, we're now testing with Siri on Waze and reporting via voice for beta, hopefully to reach production in the near future. And AAP, which is the Android Auto projected, is actually supported with Google Assistant. We know the experience is not the best there. We're working on it with Google's Android Auto team to try and find ways to improve it. We actually just solved a bug last week in beta to allow 4 reports, including police, hazard, crash, and traffic. So please stay tuned to Waze Discuss for more updates.
Amazing. Thank you, Dee. We will stay tuned. And next up, another from Fox Online in Germany, this time for Guy. Is there any chance that there will be, and by the way, this is the third most frequent question that Guy gets asked at meetups. Is there any chance that there will be a comeback of a Friends feature in Waze?
First of all, you saw the mission statement, and we want to be a driving companion. So we are thinking about different ways to feel as Waze is giving you a really companion and show you all kinds of different features and different ways to be part of a community. And we are really drilling down and searching for these features. And we also would like to get new ideas. Specifically, the friend feature, as I said it a few times, the friend feature as it was developed and launched was very problematic in terms of legal and many other integration with other applications like Facebook. So we are going to search for new ways of making you be part of a community, but the friends specifically will not come back as it was. We will have new features.
All right, looking forward to the future. Next up, an anonymous question. Will the tolls interface be improved? It isn't the easiest nor the best as of now. Hila, do you want to take this one?
By the way, not sure why I got all the anonymous.
It's not.
It's your community.
Because it's my community. Okay, fair enough, fair enough. No, I just realized.
No, maybe you need to guess.
Another. Okay.
Checking if you recognize.
If you're here and you wrote this question, no, kidding. Write yourself in the chat. So I do have some good news. First, I'll start with the fact that as other questions that I was answering here, the tools tool is it's such one of these legacy features, that we just built outside of WME. By the way, as part of one of the meetups a few years ago, it came up and we sat together and thought about the tool for the tool. So it's a very classic feature in terms of we built it with you guys, amazing map editors. But having said that, it also has this fact that it's outside of WME, and at the moment we want to make sure that it will be part of the WME and will be synced, because all of the issues that we have with the manually fixes and updates that you need to make for files up until today, that we hear all your concerns and issues and feedback, and we totally understand, and it's not ideal at all. So it's something we really want to commit to do this year. I don't have, again, like specific date, but I can assure you that it's something we have on our list for the community health squad, one of the squads that Adi presented, and we want to explore it, and we do want to have a better solution for that in WME.
Amazing. So moving right along, here's one for Adi. And this one's anonymous, so it's not just you. Okay.
Yeah, one too.
Fuel prices cannot be updated for months. It's a recurrent issue in production and in beta, and there's growing frustration from the community, and they feel it's being ignored. Trust me, by the way, it's not being ignored. We're carrying these forward. We don't need more voices to be added to the map. We need bugs to be fixed. So take it away.
I agree. I agree. But I guess we want it all. But I agree. The UGC squad, one of the squads that I presented to you at the beginning of the session, is aware of this bug and is going to be focusing its efforts over the next several weeks on fixing it. This week, we actually fixed in beta the second one, a community reported bug for updated gas prices is not saved despite the success pop-up. The team is also looking at the issue where power users are being rejected as baby Wazers, and we hopefully close to resolving it.
Great. And again, I think a lot of this UGC area is a major focus for 2024. So expect to see a lot of these more legacy bugs get finally dealt with this year.
Yes.
Fingers crossed. So next up from Musa in Pakistan, I would love to see more address fields in the WME. This will help a ton in my country. Hila, why don't you take this? This is a WME question.
Yeah. Okay. So we know that we have a lot of gaps in terms of everything that is around unconventional addresses. There are so many types and so many ways to fill it in WME, and we don't have all the fields and everything that you want for addresses. We do have a lot of discussion around it, and I do hope to end up having it actually this year. We don't have, again, any specific thing to share about planning here, but it's something we're aware of, and it's very annoying also in some of the cases in Israel.
Yeah, it's not just here. It's in a lot of different countries. We see a lot of specialty addresses, a lot of special characters that can go into addresses.
Correct.
And this is something we need to really look at to see how we can broaden the scope and cover as many different types of addresses as there are out there.
Yeah.
So next up, another question from Voil SB in the United States. Waze on Android Auto used to have full features in windowed mode with the ability to navigate, change routes, report and respond to reports, etc. But back in March, the window mode was crippled, removing all of the features except to view the map and cancel your navigation. When will a fully functional windowed AAP be returning? Adit, can you comment on this one?
Yes, thank you for that question. So the split screen mode is limited by Android Auto. We requested the team to enable for Waze several features, including the report button and pop-up windows with action and alerts. Like I mentioned before, we are dependent here on the templates provided by Android Auto. More features are still in discussion with Android Auto team, and we're very optimistic about getting the list of features covered and expanded.
All right. Well, I hope we'll have you on later this year with more info to share.
Yeah, I think that the synergy now between us and Geo will help us to push Android Auto as well.
Amazing. So this is our last pre-submitted question, and if we will have some time after this, so we'll go live to the chat. So if you have questions in chat, start putting them in now so we can start banking them. But from Hood Irony in Honduras, can you add a report feature that tells you that there's a fire on the road, and this will be useful for Wazers? Hila, why don't you talk about this, because we've had so many like wildfire things with Crisis this past year.
Yeah, it was a big focus for us this year. As you know, the Crisis team is part of the communities group and Waze, and this is because you guys are such a huge contributor when it comes to crisis and traffic events and everything around that. So as part of it, as Brett said, is everything around wildfires. So we're ready today, in case you're not aware, we will alert you if the destination that you have for Waze, in Waze while you navigate, is in an affected area by wildfire. What is not currently happening and we want to surface is better the fact that if it's part of your routing and not specifically the destination, the wildfire is on your way, we want to surface it better. And also, we want to make sure that you have a real-time update to be able to update it real-time in WME. So it's something we also working on these days with Geo, the crisis team over there. And in terms of reporting, for this question, the other part of this question is the one thing that we really want to do this year, and also Adi and also Gai touched it a bit, in terms of hyperlocal reports, right? We want to be more hyperlocal while driving. We want to assist all drivers in what they need in their specific location. And that means, in terms of this question, that we want to create more hyperlocal report types. So if in Honduras, for example, you need this report type for wildfire, because it's very common for one reason or another, we want to give you this option to have this report. And it's something that we want to work on this year. So I believe you will hear more in meetups and in other office hours about report types in general.
That's something that we tried already at the last APAC Mega Meetup, I believe, that we did a workshop on the different types of hyperlocal reports that you all could come up with. So that's something that I'd love to bring out to more meetups this year. And I think that we could have really cool conversations surrounding that to find different hyperlocal reports that are only relevant for your community, that then we can go and surface only to drivers, especially local to you. So moving along, we're going to start now taking questions from chat. I'm going to change my setup here just so I can see what I'm doing without having to look across multiple screens. And one of the first ones that I saw up here that I kind of wanted to touch on, here we go. And this one's for Gai, and I'm doing this on purpose because it's something that I want. But Michael asked, it was mentioned in chat earlier, but I'll restate it again. Google has a swag store. When will Waze get a swag store? We really want to spend our points. Come on, Gai.
I think it's a great idea.
Yeah. All right.
And I think we should also think about new ways of spending points. And this is something we're also going to spend some time doing this year. We're not going to implement it this year, but we're going to think about it. And as I said, we are here for the marathon. The hyperlocal report that Hila just said about this is something that is going to happen for sure this year. You from the community will be able to choose and to make a decision on some hyperlocal decision. Regarding the swag, let's take it as an OKR for the community and ourselves. Build a kind of a swag shop with some points that you can actually buy things, and let's make it happen. Actually, we can make it happen.
Okay.
It's your lucky day.
Yeah.
Good question.
Next question from the Dark Angel. When will permanent hazards be coming? I'm particularly excited for the pedestrian crossing and speed bump types because we have lots of those in my area. Do you want to take this one?
You can start.
So permanent hazards phase 1 is already out in WME beta, and we're getting ready now for 1.5, and that'll add a couple more different types of alerts. Phase 2, we should be seeing later this year, but still within the first half.
For now.
Guy, Adi, do you have anything else to add on permanent hazards? Hila?
This is one of the features that, again,
Exactly about the
Halfbaked, yeah, but it exactly sits on our mission, and it's going to be implemented.
To have this driving companion, to have this amazing driving experience. So this is about it.
And I will say this is one of those features that the community has been asking for really since probably the beginning of Waze, and it's something that makes me really happy that we're finally able to make it a reality this year.
Yeah. Good news to open the year with.
This, let's see, this is kind of interesting. We need a way to hide expired closures in the WME as it muds up the map, from Derek. Do you want to maybe take that a bit? Like if
I'm not sure about the technical aspect of that.
But let's take it offline.
Yeah, we can take these offline, absolutely. And we are saving everything.
That was exactly correct.
No, it's fine. We're taking these all offline anyways. We're gonna follow
You can
up
save all these because it's important. I see that there are very important comments.
We will follow up.
Okay.
We have the chat. We record basically everything, and then after every event, such as this one with a lot of questions, we also reply questions that we didn't have time online. So we have a follow-up with the questions and answers. So stay tuned.
Here's a really cool one about Google data from Jeff. When will Waze finally use the Google data regarding live traffic speeds for itinerary calculations, specifically in an area where there are where Waze users are still few?
It's a very good question, and it's about some of the focus. As I said, the decision to have Waze as a PA and continue running on our infrastructure give us full autonomy. If we want to actually exchange all the data, it creates a lot of infrastructure work. So it's a good question because we actually debated what is the meaning of investing a lot of work and getting, for example, speeds in areas where we're not so strong. It's a kind of a catch-22. On one hand, you are saying if you will have better data, you will surely grow. And we look at the UK, for example. In the UK, we are growing quite significantly in the last year. We can actually say why, because of features and so on. As much as we grow more, we are getting to be more and more accurate. We decided to go on a different path here. I'm not saying that we are not going to get the data that we can from Geo. Adi and I are going to work on that. But on the other hand, we decided to invest more in generative AI, and this is what we are doing. Actually, we are the first in Geo that adding more AI to the way we are calculating the route and the ETA. And these AI algorithms that are being developed now by our data science team and are being integrated into the navigation code really help us to improve and learn, even in countries where we have less amount of users.
Amazing. Thanks, Guy. I think we've got time for like two more questions. We have 5 minutes left. So this one is from Bilal in Iraq. And he wants to know, is it possible to add the option for editors to add a specific permit for a city or country locked, depending on the local law permissions, and to be available for users in that country only? And that's, Bilal, exactly how the permit system works currently. You are able to define a permit and then apply it to segments. In fact, it can get so hyperlocal. Just last week, I opened 2 new permits in the city of New York, just one for Brooklyn and one for the Bronx. So make sure to reach out to your community manager and they'll be able to help you configure that. Anything else on permits or no?
No.
And that covers it. And let's take another one down here. This is interesting about safety from Lori. I was under the impression that hyperlocal messages were called because it interfered with ads. Is that so? If so, what is the delay in bringing them back now that there's no ads? So there's a couple of different things going on here. So this came out of, by the way, 2 years ago when Gai joined us in San Francisco. We made the NA Growth Challenge, and the biggest thing to come out of that was the ability of the community to put up a hyperlocal push notification or pop-up. Now, those were actually taken down, not due to ads, but due to a real safety concern while driving, because it is a hazard for drivers to have navigation interrupted by a pop-up that isn't about what's going on their route. So all of Waze's notifications that weren't specifically about the route that you're on were taken down. Now, we still do have some channels open today. The biggest one is an ETA pop-up that while that is technically mid-drive, it pops up before you start driving. And we're using that currently for really huge, large events, like let's say the Super Bowl, or we used it in the fall in Salem, Massachusetts for Halloween. It's really kind of a hack, but
Also for Waze for Good.
and for Waze for Good.
Campaigns.
And
we want to help Wazers around the world.
Absolutely. So like the way that we're using it right now is for if you have a large event, but it doesn't involve closures and you still want to address users and let them know that this big event is happening and it's going to have a traffic impact, we can set up one of these pop-ups for you. But it's not ideal, and what we really want is a product solution. So one of the things that we're working on now that should be ready, hopefully by the end of H1 this year, is for a banner on the pre-drive screen that will give you that necessary information in a completely sort of passive way that doesn't interrupt your driving at all. That's my 2 cents on this because I'm the one that's taking the requests in, so I know a little bit about it. Do any of the rest of our guests have anything on hyperlocal messages, pop-ups, future of communicating with users?
Actually, we are, as Adi mentioned, the surfacing squad. So this squad is going to actually build some new infrastructure for the way we are, what data we are choosing to show, to whom, where, why. It relates also to Guardian. But one of the most important things, we want to be able to give communication tools to our partners and to specific hyperlocal issues. So we are going to develop in 2024 a tool that will enable our partners to send, for example, an important message to specific users, let's say who are using the same road at least twice a week, to tell them, next week the lane is going to be closed, or other very important related to traffic and mobility in their cities and mobility. I'm very glad to say that we are already helping some cities that were asked by the community. For example, I think in Belgium, we are using the infrastructure we already have, and we are building a new infrastructure. If there are very important messages that can help and impact our users, we are using it, even without ads and so on.
Amazing, and that brings us right to time. So we just want to close this out with a big thank you, our amazing community. And here is to a great and wonderful 2024 with all of us together. Do you all have a little something to say to close us off?
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Amazing. So we will see you all out there live on the road at meetups, and tune in next month on March 10th. And we're going to take a little sneak peek at Suggest and Edit. So we'll have more info on that in the forum later. But in the meantime, we'll see you out there.
Have a great year. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Have a
everybody.
great year.